If there's ever anything I don't want to talk about, I'll just tell you.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So,
is there something you don't want to talk about?
Not that I could think of.
Okay, all right, cool. Thank you all for watching the first episode of this brand new show, which I haven't decided on the name yet, so that may be something we discuss.
Okay.
So far, I am going with, because the list of names that I thought of have pretty much already been taken, I am left with what is tentatively called Friendship Celebration Time. That is what we're at right now. Okay. And so I am here with my friend Ryan to celebrate our friendship.
Hello. Yay.
And
is that it? We're done?
Yeah, that's it. That's the show.
Very cool.
So you are one of the funniest people I know. You're very entertaining
No
boundaries.
No, I'm kidding.
That's your boundary. I'm gonna.
No, please don't stop.
So yeah, you are very entertaining. Uh-huh. It's always great to just see what you're doing, mm-hmm. and it's very sad that I have not been able to do improv with you at all. Yeah. Our paths have never crossed in that way.
I've thought about coming to what's it called, MDI.
MDI. Yeah.
I've thought about checking it out a few times, but you guys are so far away.
We're going to be in Royal Oak on April 14th, or August 14th, if that makes anything easier.
I mean, that's closer to me, for sure.
So,
right, I'll see what I can do.
Jamie will be facilitating that one.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah.
I may come check that out, then.
Yeah. And we have a very nice lounge room that got booked. So,
nice.
Yeah, because the Motor City Youth Theater is being used for another play from Michael. He wrote another play.
Okay.
And
he never stops.
No. So he's doing that.
Right.
And then so if you come to MDI
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, awesome. And then so one of the things I wanted to ask you is do you remember how we met and became friends?
Of course I do. So I actually was just reading about this today because I was looking for your Facebook post where you announced this project, so I could remember what it was going to be. Because I remember saying I wanted to do it, but I didn't remember exactly what we were doing. And I came across posts that I had been tagged in at the end of the play. So Jason wrote a play, and it wound up being the first play that I had done since I graduated college with an acting degree. It had been the first scripted acting that I had done in over 15 years. And it was because my friend Tim posted about auditions for it, and Tim and I went to college together, and I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. And then I was looking through the parts, and I was like, I wouldn't even have to act to play this one part. I might as well try. So I did, and got the part. And so, yeah, I did a play that you wrote, and you were at all the rehearsals, so we got to know each other better, and yeah, there you go.
I was very happy when I saw your audition video.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yes, that's immediately as we're watching it, I'm like, you are a better version of that character than I have even written, and then the lines that you added in.
I mean, yeah.
That was very you brought the character way farther and gave me ideas for it. So when I edit the show, because it's most likely going to be done again at Southgate Community Players.
Oh, cool.
Next year, 2024, 2025 or something. And
using the same cast?
I bet if you auditioned...
I feel like I'd be like, nobody else can do this. I get first right of refusal.
Yeah, especially because I'm morphing the character based on the stuff you ad-libbed in and everything. I'm
if I have the time, that would be fun.
Yeah. So yeah, one of the other things I wanted to ask is, do you or have you been able to think when I told you that the name of the show is tentatively Friendship Celebration Time?
Yeah.
Did something better come to mind? Because if you have a better name for this show, this is episode 1, so whatever we land on at the end of this episode is what I'm probably going to have to call the show.
If I think of something, I'll let you know. Nothing better came to mind at that moment. So
okay. So
if I think of something, I'll just shout it out.
Okay. All right. Cool. And then you do a lot of Lego Twitch streaming.
I do. I've actually taken a break from doing it. I'm still Twitch streaming, but I ran out of space in my house for Lego sets. So I am taking a break while I figure out if I want to like take some of the old ones apart to make room for new ones or what. I have been streaming playing the brand new hot game on the market, Grand Theft Auto 5, from over a decade ago. Because I've owned it for a long time. I've played most of it, but I never actually finished it.
And next is Skyrim.
Mate, you know what? Honestly, I've never played Skyrim. I always kind of wanted to.
Yeah, that's been re-released about, I don't know, 24 times or so.
Yeah, I've always wanted to try it. I never did. So I'm always like a late... For the longest time, I was a late adopter to video games because I, A, didn't have the time, and B, didn't have the money. And now I have slightly more free time on occasion and the money to buy video games when they come out instead of having to wait till they're like deeply discounted. So generally get onto a game right when it comes out if I want to play it now.
Okay.
But yeah, so with my Twitch stream, I'm just doing... The reason I want to do Grand Theft Auto 5 is because it's big, it's involved, it's interesting, and there's still a fan base for it. People still play the online game. And it was also something that I knew I would care about and enjoy, but not care about or enjoy so much that I would be bummed to only play it Mondays. Only for 3 hours. So I was going to do Diablo 4 because that's the game I'm currently playing, but then I was like, I don't want to just play this on Mondays for 3 hours. I want to be able to play it whenever I want. So Grand Theft Auto is like a game I'd have fun with that I also don't care if I only play it once a week. So
I have multiple questions from that.
Okay.
But I guess the first thing is back to the Lego thing, and then I have some video game questions.
Yeah, for sure.
So what prompted you to say, hey, I really enjoy doing Legos. I want to record myself doing them. Like, what brings a person to streaming Legos?
So I have a lot of friends that are Twitch streamers, and I enjoyed watching their streams, and I set up a Twitch account, and I was like, I'm going to try this, and I would just, like, be randomly playing video games on my lunch break if I was working from home. And I would just stream for that hour, whatever I was playing.
Okay.
And then I noticed that most people I know that are playing a game, they play a game with continuity. So, like, they play a game that they're only playing on their Twitch stream. And I was not doing that. I was just like, I'm randomly, like, I'm playing Arkham Asylum again. And I'm going to Twitch stream it. But I'm also playing for hours when I'm not Twitch streaming it. And, like, so people watching my Twitch stream, I'd be at one point in the story. And then next time I streamed, there was no consistency. It might be 6 weeks between Twitch streams.
Okay.
And I would be, 5 hours further in the story, and people would be like, what the hell? So what's the language policy on this?
Oh, whatever you
Let it
feel
fly.
Like,
all right.
Whatever you feel like saying is fair game.
So then I stopped doing it kind of altogether because it wasn't really all that exciting. And then I was watching my one friend who normally does video games do a Twitch stream where he built a Lego set. And I was like, this counts? I was like, you can do this? I was like, I could do that. And I just decided to try it one night, and then while I was doing it, one of my friends was in my chat and said, he said, this has a real good vibe to it. You should put on like some royalty-free smooth jazz. And I did, and people enjoyed that. So it just became a thing I started doing. Partially because my now wife, but then girlfriend, she is a low social needs person, and I'm a very high social needs person.
Okay.
And so I have to literally build in times where I'm occupied with something to give her alone time, so that I'm not bothering her to like hang out and watch movies or something.
Okay.
So I have created it's a terrible reason, but it's like why I started teaching improv classes. I like asked the Parks and Rec in my city in Mount Clemens if I could teach an improv class, because it gives me a night where I have to go do something else, so I'm not bothering my partner. And same with the Twitch stream. It's a thing where it's like, I've committed to this, I have to do this.
Okay.
So it's not so much I set these things up to give her alone time, it's so I can find things to do that don't involve my partner.
I mean, I know you said that sounded like a bad reason, but it sounds like a very good reason.
It is a good reason, but it just sounds weird.
Oh.
People just say, why can't you just read a book? And I'm like, well, I could, but I get bored. So I need like activities. So That's why I started doing it, really.
Okay. That's interesting.
And I just love Legos, and I like building Lego sets. And I thought people would find it annoying, but people that watch it really like it. And I don't have a huge viewership, but the people who watch it seem to really enjoy it. So
yeah, I've only been able to catch most of one time because Mondays is when I'm busy doing improv a lot of the time. And if I'm not, I'm like catching up on other things and stuff. So it's unfortunate that I enjoyed it from the little bit that I saw.
I appreciate you popping in.
Yeah. And then with Diablo 4, what type of character are you playing?
So I did a necromancer to get through the story, and then they just on Thursday, I don't know if you played or not.
No, I've seen a little bit about it. I played Diablo 3.
Okay, so they just started doing seasons like they did in Diablo 3. First season just launched on Thursday. And so you had to complete the story, and then you go back and make a new character to go through the season. And you can skip all the story content and just do like dungeons and public events and all that kind of stuff. So it's a whole different type of gameplay. So for the story I did in Necromancer, which is real cool, it's just like having these little skeletons and a golem that would attack your enemies, create corpses, and then you could blow the corpses up to do damage. So you would just stand off to the side throwing bone arrows at people, and then when you ran out of energy, your guys would keep fighting. They'd make this pile of corpses, and then you would just hold a button, and your guy would go like this, and they'd just all start exploding all over the screen, just creating chaos. It was real fun, but kind of boring, too. It was a really, like, slow played, not a lot of action to it. So now I'm playing a rogue, and that's a lot more fun. So it's a lot more like he's flipping around and throwing daggers, and it's a good time. So probably going to do that later today. We'll see.
I'm going to be editing this video later today.
Nice.
So is there anything that I don't know about you that you would like me to know about you?
Well, so, like, I guess, yeah, I mean, our experiences together have been mostly internet-based, Facebook-based, and doing the play together. So we don't know each other super well. I can't really think of anything in particular that, like, is core to my existence. But if you want to ask me about any, like, if there's a...
Well, that's kind of funny because I think that, like, because as we were talking and stuff, like, backstage and all that stuff, learning that we were in so many of the same places at the same time, and just... I was, we've clearly seen each other, but just like paid no attention because we had no clue who we were.
Yeah, probably because you were friends with a guy in high school that I knew through his band, and it occurs to me if you went to the same high school as him, we grew up in the same area because I grew up in East Detroit. Yeah. And you grew up one town over in Roseville, which is where my brother lives now, and I went to school in Roseville at St. Angela's.
Oh, okay.
On 10 Mile, so we probably did cross paths. I'm sure we were at least one Recess Reject show. And didn't you say you went to the same comic book store I used to go to?
Yeah, we'd stop in and visit, our mutual friend.
So I used to just hang out there because he worked there, and then I got to know him mostly through him working there. And then two of my best friends from high school got jobs there as well. And so once I was in college and, like, I would get out of classes for the day on Wednesdays on New Comic Book Day, I would literally just go to the shop and I'd hang out until it closed.
Okay.
And we would just hang out and customers would come in and chit-chat about comics and stuff, and who knows, you might have been one of them at some point.
Yeah, so. I don't know a ton about comics, so I would go in there. Like, I found some of the stuff interesting, and there was, like, I don't know, he would always come, like, over, and when I'd go over to his house, I'd always see all this interesting, like, anime stuff that we didn't have over here yet.
Yeah.
And so it was just a lot of fascinating things. And so when I'd go in there, he'd show me stuff that he thought I'd be interested in, and things like that. And I know we went to some of the same concerts and stuff even.
Yeah.
Probably, like...
I mean, yeah, because I followed his band around a lot, because I was friends with all of them. And then, I booked in I don't know if you would have been at this, but when I was in high school, so I knew that band in high school, too. And put together a fundraiser for my school's little like AV club TV station.
Okay, cool.
And their band was one of the bands that played at that.
That's awesome.
So who knows? Maybe you were there. It's one of the best local Macomb, Oakland County, Detroit ska punk shows I think ever happened.
That's awesome.
At the Wired Frog in East Point.
Yeah, I have seen them at Wired Frog before. There was another band, I think they were from East Point, so you may be familiar with them as well. They were a ska band, Peanut Butter Mosquito.
Yes, okay, well, there's a connection. Tom, their trombone player, one of the two, we went to grade school together. So I've known him since like first grade.
Okay.
They're actually they're getting back together. I think they have a reunion show next week in Pontiac.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so they're at least doing one show. I don't know if they're getting back together like all the way, but they have a show at the Crowfoot, I think, next week. But yeah, I've known Tom. They're one of their horn players since like first grade.
Yeah, that's awesome, because I'd seen them, and then I had, like, some of those, when they would release CDs, they'd record some stuff, and I'd had some local band, like EPs and things like that, so.
Yeah, I think they go by PBM now.
Yeah.
Which I think they now say stands for Poor Boy Music, but I remember them as Peanut Butter Mosquitoes.
Oh, interesting.
For sure. Sorry, Tom. So
I mean, that's good. Thank you for updating me. I had that.
Yeah.
I was way stuck in the past.
Here, I could tell if you want me. I'll look. I could tell you when that show is, in case you want to check it out. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it, but.
Yeah, I know my schedule's pretty busy.
You said this might go up today. I'll give them they can have a little plug.
Yeah, that's very possible that this goes up today.
It is.
We've been plugging a lot of stuff today.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of things that don't exist anymore. Go check out the Recess Rejects, Gotham Nights in Roseville, which I think is like a dollar store now. Let's see.
Go check out the dollar store in Roseville.
July 27th at 6 p.m. at the Crowfoot, PBM. Go check it out. It's a fundraiser for a music charity. So, yeah, good stuff.
I'm trying to get some fundraiser stuff going.
That's awesome.
We will see.
So I'm trying to remember the lineup of that one Wired Frog show that I booked. See if any of these names ring a bell. There's Wrist Rocket, the Throwaway Kids, which I'm ashamed to say now because I loved them. I went to high school with
I've
those
heard
guys.
of them, but I don't know if I...
They were a really good, like, snotty punk band, but one of their guys got in some trouble for some sexual crimes with children. Well, then. A bummer. I was friends with him in high school. Who else? The Recess Rejects, Ich bin ein Berliner.
Do you know what? I will cut you off right now. Remember when I was saying, I think I had like an EP or something from PBM. No, it was Ich bin ein Berliner that I had the...
Okay. Oh, I know. I wore that album out. My friend is married to their trombone player now.
Okay.
So that's one of those interesting things. My friend John, we worked together at Meyer. We met, and then our two friend groups kind of merged together and became this one big friend group. So, like, so many of the people I count among my best friends, I never would have met without working at Meyer and meeting John. Just through chance. We were just both baggers at Meyer.
That's what I think I need to do, and what I might be inadvertently doing that, but now it's going to probably be an active goal, is merging all of my friend groups.
Yeah, it's always good when you have, like, a party, for example, and you invite people from, like, your different circles all come together and they get along. That's always cool.
Yeah, well, it's very interesting because I have the, like, the specific, like, an improv circle with MDI, and then some of us also do theater or musicals and things like that, which I haven't done a musical, but others have in there.
Yeah.
And so, so some of those groups kind of cross over a little bit, And then some of those people I also knew from like board game groups.
Okay.
That also worked with some of those people, and so there's a little bit more crossover there. So I'm ideally going to be able to merge all of my friends.
Those are pretty good. Those are pretty easy groups to. They're all subsets of each other in a way. Like
you can say it. We're
like
all a bunch of nerds.
Well, there's that too, but there's like at the top is like the theater group. And the theater group is always going to have improv people and board game people in that group.
Oh, okay.
And they're usually the same people. So it's like you said 3 different groups. I bet they all have mostly the same people. So it's really just one group. You're like, oh, they all merged together. I did it.
So basically, my efforts are easy mode. What I really need to do is find like my friends that have nothing to do with theater at all, or board games. They don't play board games. They don't play many video games. They don't do theater, and get them to become friends.
Right. So like most of my friend, like my core friend group, were people that were theater kids in high school. But when they got out of high school, they were like, I'm never doing that again. It was just like the least lame thing I could think to do in high school.
Wow.
And then I have like, I don't really talk to much of my like theater department friends from college anymore. I talk to some of them and I still consider them friends, but like most of them have kind of vanished from like life beyond Facebook. We talk sometimes, or some of them I keep in touch with, but most of them not as much anymore. And then I had like an improv friendship group in Chicago where I used to live.
Okay.
And then I don't really talk to those people a lot anymore. And then I have like my comedy sports group of friends, which is international because of all of the different theaters and how they all work together and get together once a year for this thing called Championship. And I still talk to those people a lot and interact with those people a lot, even though I'm not with comedy sports anymore. And then I think that's pretty much most of those groups. Yeah. So I don't have like you guys that were in the play are pretty much the only like theater people that I know, where it's like that's your main thing.
Okay.
And you guys again all live an hour away, so like Facebook is our primary friendship model.
Yeah.
It's not like we hang out a lot, but
yeah, and I was hoping to like when you were talking about the that you were going to be running improv at the rec center or whatever out there, and you urged me that was probably not worth my time.
Yeah, and to tell you the truth, I had fun teaching the class, but what happened was after the first, so I taught 6 classes, and after the first 3, like the numbers dwindled with every class. So the first class I had 10 people, and they said it was the most they'd had signed up for a class since Parks and Rec like classes are new for Mount Clemens. So
okay.
10 people was like a huge thing for them. And then the first day, I had one girl who said she was there specifically because she wanted to learn to deal with her anxiety about being around other people. And then after we finished warm-ups, we took a break, and she left and just never came back.
Oh, wow.
And I did email her and say, like, hey, I know you struggle with anxiety. I struggle with anxiety, too. I totally get it. Good for you for trying this. If you want to come back, I think it would be really, really great for you. If you don't, I totally understand. And if you want to try it again, I'm going to be doing it again in the fall. So she left. And then 2 other people who came to the first class but hadn't registered yet. One had a meeting, had to miss the second class. The other was out of town and had to miss the second class and then just never came back. And then another person had like a massive car issue.
Okay.
And was not able to get to the last 3 classes, but never really let me know. They just kind of vanished. And so I was down to 5 people. And then every week, one combination of 2 to 3 of them wouldn't show up. So I'd be left with 2 people. You can't teach an improv class with 2 people. So we wound up canceling the last 3 classes by week. Like, I'd go every week, see who showed up, and then we'd have to cancel.
Okay.
So hopefully the fall class will be better. But yeah, I would have hated for you to drive an hour for classes that would have gotten canceled.
Right.
So,
So you mentioned anxiety, and so when I think of a lot of people with anxiety, they talk about coming up in social situations.
Yeah.
And you said that you are more of a social person.
Yes.
So what is it that causes like anxiety for you?
Primarily the unknown.
Okay.
So the worst thing a person can do to me is say, "Hey, can we talk later?"
Okay.
Because whatever time later is, all I'm going to think about is, what do you want to talk about? Until then, what did I do? Why am I in trouble? And I do have social anxiety, but it's different kind of social anxiety. I don't get panicked in groups. I like talking to new people. If I'm going to see people I have known for a really long time, it can be anxiety inducing to be like, does this person actually want to hang out with me? Or are they just being nice?
Oh, okay.
Did I say something weird to them last time we hung out that they're mad about, and we're going to talk about it? On and on and on and on. So my social anxiety is more about people I've known for 20 years than it is about like new people or groups.
Okay.
Or anything like that.
Yeah, I have a couple questions now from that.
Yeah.
One, did you have anxiety to come here today?
No.
And do this?
No.
Okay.
No, this is my... I hate saying this out loud. So, I have pretty low self-esteem.
Okay.
But I'm also my favorite thing to talk about. So, like, I don't really like myself very much. But if somebody's like, hey, sit down and tell me stories about you, I will do that all day. Because I think that my stories about, like, me being just a general fuck-up throughout life are really funny. So, like, they're entertaining. And then I was on my way out here, and I realized, flipping through my Google Drive, that I had some old episodes of a podcast that I used to do. I was like, I'm going to listen to one of these. So, like, on the way here to let you interview me about me, I was also listening to me talk about my thoughts about Dawson's Creek. Because I used to host and we never finished the series, but I hosted a podcast with my dear friend Johnny, where we would watch Dawson's Creek and talk
so
about
it was specifically a Dawson's Creek podcast.
Yeah, it was called It's All Creek to Me. And we would watch 2 episodes per episode and kind of analyze them and break them down.
Okay.
So, it was good. It was a good show. We just got busy and never went back to it. We got through season 2, I think, and then just never went back to it from there. So
okay.
We've talked about picking it up now, but it's been 5 years since we recorded an episode. And we were like, what if we just released a new episode, just picking up right where we left off and never saying anything about it? You know what happened? I remember now. We recorded an episode where the conversation got strange because of the episode topic. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it like made me feel uneasy, the stuff that we talked about. And I held off releasing it for so long because I was like anxious about it that I forgot about it. And then we just never went back to it.
Oh, that's interesting.
But we've been talking about doing a new podcast because he's a therapist and he wants to do a podcast with his other therapist friend, just kind of doing like a humorous podcast about therapy.
It's funny that I had a friend who's considering coming onto this show, and she asked me if this is going to end up like therapy.
Yeah.
So...
No, I don't think this is quite the same as therapy.
Yeah.
Could be. Might be for some people. So, yeah.
So, the other question I had about the anxiety and stuff was, I know you said, like, a lot of the unknown, and when you're, like, a person says they want to talk with you, and you don't know why, or if you had upset someone. So, do you find that a lot of people aren't transparent with their feelings, like when they interact with you?
No, I just believe they're not.
Okay.
So my therapist said what I took first to be so insulting and then realized how helpful it was, which was she said, nobody is thinking about you nearly as much as you think they are. And I was like, oh, that really hurts my feelings, but also like that's a very liberating thought. Because I think, like, if I get a text message from, like, picked up certain people's text patterns, but certain people, if I get a text message and it just says okay, or if I send them like a paragraph text and get that thumbs up, I'm just like, why are they mad at me? What did I do?
Oh, okay.
So, because I'm just not that type of person. I don't.
You've worked on that, though, right?
I'm trying.
Okay.
I've been working really hard lately on codependency issues that I have, where it's like, if other people around me aren't okay, I'm not okay, kind of thing.
Okay.
So I've been working really hard on that lately.
So I will say I probably think about you more than you think I think about you.
Probably. That sounded really scary.
It's in a good way, because I'm like, oh, I'm working on something, and I'd be like, oh, it'd be really cool to work with Ryan on this.
Yeah.
Or it'd be really, like,
Well, good,
so
let me
there's lots of stuff. And then, like, of course, when I'm editing footage from another show that's going to end up here, I promise you, there was a show that I recorded back in December. There was tech issues. It will be up on this channel at some point. You were in all 6 episodes of it.
I was thinking about that as you were saying, like, when I got here, you were like, this will probably go up today. I was like, what about that thing we did in December? Shouldn't that go up first? But I get it. I know it took a lot of...
So the reason this show exists, it's something I've been wanting to do for several years, but the reason I'm doing it now is because the show that I'm currently editing has so much involved in it that nothing's going to be up on my channel for some time if that's what I'm working on primarily. So what I'm doing now is I'm doing this new series so that I can get content up that I think is just fun. Like,
and this is probably easier to put up too.
Oh, yeah, like this, I'm going to throw on like a quick, like the editing, I have to check the volume, make sure that like spots are evened out and stuff volume-wise. But for the most part, I'm not cutting anything. Except like the very beginning and very end. And then just adding in like a graphic type thing in the beginning and a graphic type thing at the end, kind of giving like the production information or whatever. So that's something easy, and I just have to create a thumbnail for the episode and stuff.
Cool.
So yeah, and I figured while I do that, so it's like, yeah, I finished that up, and then tomorrow I can continue work on the other series that is much more involved. But I see you speak in that as I'm editing constantly, so...
Yeah, I was trying to remember the other day what thing. I know we talked about bread, but I can't remember what the others topics were.
Sure. Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, you remember? Okay.
Doors.
Yeah.
Showering. Doing laundry. And playing cards.
That's right.
Those were the episodes.
I'm excited. I'm real excited to see how it came out, because I remember stuff. I remember talking a lot about those relatively mundane things, but not anything that I said.
Yeah. Yes, you said lots of very interesting and entertaining things. Some of it, because of time, I'm having to... I mean, clearly I can't use every piece of footage from everybody, but having to kind of cut and clip and all that stuff.
I'm excited to see what so self-absorbed. I'm excited to see what other people said, really.
Oh, yeah, I want everybody to see what the other people said in those situations, but I'm trying to figure out workflow and stuff for it.
Sure.
Yeah, but that series will go up, so I do think about you more, because I work directly with footage that, stuff you've told me and things.
Well, I love doing things and projects, so anytime you want me to do something, you let me know, and if I can fit it in, I will.
Awesome. Depending on how the board meeting goes at Players Guild of Dearborn, I may be putting out audition information soon for an unscripted play.
Interesting.
Yes.
That sounds like a thing I could do.
Yeah. So hopefully they're considering it for a fundraiser show. They can't put it in their regular lineup, like their regular season, but their fundraising committee is interested in discussing with me further and moving that on.
That sounds fun.
So I think this is a great time to wrap up.
Okay.
But I would love for you to finish, just make the statement and fill in what isn't finished about it.
Okay.
Jason, as your friend, finish it however you'd like.
Glide over here.
you.
No, it's fine. Because like it sounds like a thing where I'm supposed to give some sort of advice or something.
I mean, you could give advice. You could tell me whatever. Like, I mean, if you have a piece of advice for me that you think I would personally benefit from, but just whatever you want to tell me as my friend.
Okay. I'm gonna hope this comes out the right way. All right.
I'm gonna hope it doesn't, because it sounds like it would be really funny if it doesn't.
Jason, as your friend, I admire your constant journey for self-improvement, but you probably don't need to improve as much as you think you do.
Aww.
Because I see you on Facebook all the time being like, I'm going to change my diet. I'm going to do this. I need to work on this. I need to work on this. And I always go like, you really don't. Like, and I have other friends that I have to send almost that same text to another friend because they're just like, I want to change this about myself and this about myself and this about myself. And I'm like, I like you how you are. Don't change things.
Do you feel I've changed too much?
No, but I feel like you were always talking about wanting to. And I guess...
So I have no follow-through, is that?
No. I guess the point of all of that is, if you're changing something about yourself, do it because it's going to make you happy, not because you think other people are going to be happy with it.
Okay, thank you.
So that would be my, as your friend, statement.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for being on the show.
That was fun. That went way faster than I thought it would.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be called the Friendship Celebration Time.
Like, I hope this takes off, and I hope this is your most successful project yet. But I say this only cynically, nobody cares what you call it.